G'day legends, Blake here with another video. And have you ever gone to check on your tank and one or more of your fish have either mysteriously disappeared or passed on? Or are you having that thing where it's just every single time you go in there, something's not right with the tank and you keep having fish pass away? Well, by the end of this video, I'm going to run you through all the reasons that might be happening and hopefully put your mind at ease, because it can be really stressful and really confusing at the same time. Let's jump straight into the video. While we are in this position here, we might as well talk about this tank behind me because it has no lid. Lids are really important for keeping your fish inside your aquarium, and while some fish are known as being more likely to jump out than others, they all have the capability to do so. Whether they're scared in the middle of the night, whether the water conditions aren't exactly the best, or whether they've just got another tank mate in there that's kind of scaring them or making them likely to dart around. These are reasons why fish can jump out of the tank. They're not just suicidal, they don't hate you, but a lot of fish just do it by accident as well, just the nature of sort of getting the fish zoomies and out they go. So the best way to keep your fish in the aquarium is encasing them with a lid. Another lesser known condition to watch out for is the amount of flow in your aquarium. Some fish are going to handle flow a lot better than others. For example, things with long flowing fins like bedders, definitely going to want minimal flow, if any at all. However, if things are more torpedo shaped like danios or these rainbow fish, then they are going to tolerate flow a little bit better. So just keep in mind the fish that you're keeping, how difficult it is for them to move around, and maybe where they come from, and set your flow in the aquarium accordingly. Also be mindful, even like sponge filters, they might seem like they're not putting out that much flow, but sometimes if you get a lot of air through them, they really can. Now by saying this, I'm not saying that a bit of flow is going to mean that your fish are going to disappear overnight, but what it might do is introduce an extra stress factor, and those fish just aren't going to live as long as they potentially might in 100% perfect conditions. Some other stress factors that might limit the lifespan of your fish and lead to them sort of wasting away and disappearing over time. Things like food quality, type of food. If you've got a protein-rich diet on a fish that's going to be more omnivorous, then of course they're not going to live as long. Just like if a human ate exclusively Big Macs for their entire life, they're not going to live to 100, are they? Heat is another one. A very warm aquarium is going to make your fish metabolize a lot faster and probably be more aggressive, but they're definitely not going to live as long. And the other one is going to be water parameters. If you're keeping them in very hard water when they really want quite soft water, then they're going to be stressed out their entire life, and that limits their longevity. Another factor is going to be your tank mates and any possible aggression. And whilst you don't see it in the daytime, be mindful that fish are probably active way longer than you are after lights go out. So they can be giving each other dramas at night. For example, a lot of plecos are going to be very active at night and other catfish, whereas other fish might want to use that time to rest. And if they're constantly being disturbed by other fish at the period of time that they want to rest, then of course they're always going to be restless, and eventually stress will take a toll. Other things to consider are the basically aggressiveness of the fish. For example, these blue-eye cichlids are quite aggressive, so I wouldn't keep them with super peaceful fish where one's really gonna outcompete the other. You want some things that are gonna match their aggression so that they'll have a few tussles here and there, but eventually give up on it, kind of like siblings. And on that topic, consider what area of the tank your inhabitants are gonna have. So for example, these macrostoma bedders here, definitely more top dwellers, mid to top dwellers. I've got them in here with some L number plecos, which I'd be very surprised if they ever came into contact at all. Now, whilst the plecos are going to be definitely more nocturnal than the bedders are pretty much going to be sleeping up here in the logs here, so they're really not going to even notice that the plecos are bustling around at night, and vice versa. So stuff like this is important to consider. I never put multiple bottom dwellers and I never put multiple top dwellers in aquariums. For example, I don't like the combination, and I do get asked about it a lot, epistogrammas and rams, or stuff like that, where just you're going to have the fish always fighting for down here, and you're just going to have an empty looking tank up here. I don't know, I don't think it looks as good, and I don't think it works out very well in the long run. And then the last one, and probably the most difficult for most people to identify, are going to be pests. Things like planaria, hydra that are going to eat on baby shrimp and fish, Now, a lot of people overhype how much they actually predate on those, but eventually you will find numbers going down if you've got a lot of those pests. Things like nymphs, dragonfly and damselfly nymphs as well. Dragonfly nymphs are definitely worse, but they're super elusive, so they can be a real sort of hidden danger in the aquarium, and they can often hide around sponge filters, the backs of tanks and plants. They come in on those sorts of things as well. So plant roots might have a few dragonfly eggs. Maybe you've had the fish room open for the day and a dragonfly's flown in, or whatever it might be, but yeah, they're really something that you don't want in your fish room. Internal parasites, super common. I see a lot of fish at both big box stores and local fish stores, unfortunately, with sunken bellies, and they look maybe bloated. And these are a likely indication of internal parasites. White stringy poo or clear poo as well can be an indication. So really difficult things to treat because you can't really keep an eye on them. Main things are to treat with multiple different medications to hit all the types of possibilities and gravel vacuum all the time so that when those parasites do come out, they don't get back into the fish otherwise. But those are probably topics for more in-depth videos down the track. And the other one I was thinking, I'm actually allergic to cats, so we don't have a cat, but I wonder if anyone out there has had a fish tank where in the middle of the night, your cat has got a bit promiscuous and gone and scooped a few fish out of your tank. I'm sure it's happened, and I'm sure maybe even dogs are guilty as well if they can be acrobatic enough to get to access into your aquarium. But even those sorts of things are important to consider. And again, that's where a lid would probably really come in clutch. But there you go, that's this video for today. Hopefully that has helped put your mind at ease. It's really disastrous when your fish has just disappeared. You turn the whole place upside down and you find them as fish jerky behind your aquarium or beside your aquarium or wherever it is. So please do keep in mind these sorts of things that I've talked about today. They're really just something to flick in your mind that, you know, maybe that's the cause of what's going on, and look into it a little bit further. If the video did help, it always helps me out to smash like, hit subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And if you're interested, check out this video here that I did recently, and hopefully you like that one too.